Let's go! Let's go! Welcome back to another epic offshore Panga send. Today we're doing something I've never done before successfully and filmed in Texas, and I'm super excited to share this with you guys. But first, I gotta give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Magic Spoon Cereal. If I'm being honest with you guys, these offshore Panga trips are not cheap at all, despite having an economical boat. So it's sponsors like Magic Spoon and you guys' continued support, liking and commenting on the videos, as well as our awesome patrons that help make these kinds of videos possible. So before we get into the action, I'm gonna show you guys Magic Spoon's line of cereal. Do you love to eat cereal, but you quit eating it because it's super high in sugar and carbs? Magic Spoon cereal is tailored to bring back that childhood-like nostalgia of eating all of your favorite flavors, but eliminating the guilt of eating cereal. How, you ask? Well, Magic Spoon cereal has 0 grams of sugar. It's super high in protein, having 13 to 14 grams, and only has a net of 4 carbohydrates. On top of that, it's keto friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free, as well as containing all of your favorite natural flavors of cereal. They've got frosted flavor, they've got cocoa, which is my favorite, peanut butter, fruity, and honey nuts. So it'll cover everything you need if you're looking for a healthy alternative and you love eating cereal. I'm a big cereal eater myself, and believe me, for 0 sugars, this right here is pretty dang good. If you're looking for a healthy alternative to cereal, look no further than Magic Spoon. If you guys are interested in getting your very own Magic Spoon cereal, click the link down in the description box below. I have a discount code for y'all, WAHOO5, to get $5 off your purchase of Magic Spoon cereal. Huge thanks to Magic Spoon for sponsoring today's video. It's sponsors like this, patrons of the channel, and you guys watching ultimately that allow us to do these awesome offshore trips out of the Panga. With that said, today we have an epic offshore spearfishing trip. I've been wanting to do what we do in this video for years, so I'm super excited to share it with you guys. Stay tuned and enjoy. Well, good morning. I am on a 2-day bender right now for offshore fishing, and we are up early. It is a little before 6 right now. We're cruising out, and we are going deep offshore today, farther and deeper than I've ever been in the boat before. The goal, as you guys might guess, is WAHOO. We got the spear guns ready to rock. We have some rods just in case we need to fish, but WAHOO is the goal today. You know, I thought I might as well give it a shot and know that I tried. If I do strike out, then not go at all. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send it deep. Like I said, on a bender, probably 5-6 hours of sleep for 2 days. Yesterday we were out all day fishing, and the weather just looked too good to pass up this chance to go. So we're gonna get cruising. Wish us luck, so you guys want to get out there. So much goes into these deep offshore trips that I really don't spend a whole lot of time in the morning talking to the camera or, you know, putting the drone up, getting cool shots, because really time is very, very valuable when you're running so far offshore. I'm leaving early in the morning, but a lot of our day is spent driving, hours and hours. So once we get to the spot, I am very run and gun. You only get to do these kind of trips a couple times a year, sometimes only once. So I try to take advantage of every single second. Like I said, that's why I don't really slow down and film as I usually do. Once we get out there, I get suited up, everything ready to go, and we are in the water looking for fish. There's no time to spare, because quite literally we only have a few to several hours of diving before we gotta head back in. We have made it deeper and farther than we have ever been offshore. I'm gonna get clothes off, get suited up, and see what's down there. Water's looking mint. So once I get suited up, I start to let out my buoys, which are clipped to some bungees, clipped to a 100-foot float line. You guys haven't seen a whole lot of this on my channel. I haven't done much of it. I mainly use reels, but come WAHOO season, you're gonna see a lot of this system for diving. And basically what it is, what happens is whenever I shoot a fish, that spear connected to the shooting line is all gonna be attached to this float line and buoys. That way I'm not attached to the fish in any way, and it can wear itself out just by pulling those buoys, towing them across the surface and whatnot.
Done. fish.
Once I get all that out, I turn my shark shield on and hop in the water. And here I'm just taken aback in disbelief because you might have seen it. Right there.
Wahoo's everywhere.
Immediately when I got in the water, I saw like 3 or 4 just hanging out right down there under the flasher. And I'm so taken aback, I'm just like, this is really happening, you know? Wahoo fever hits me. I'm not even loaded up here. I try to stay calm, getting my gun strung back. Really just trying to control my nerves here because keep in mind, I haven't seen a wahoo in 5 years and I've been wanting so badly to shoot one.
Throw chum.
So for it all to come together just like that instantly was quite a lot to take in. You guys heard me say throw some chum. I was telling the guys on the boat to toss them out to keep these wahoo interested. You never know when they're going to lose interest and just dip out of there. So putting the flashers out, putting chum out is the way to kind of keep them in the area and not pay a whole lot of attention to you. It helps you get close to them and have opportunities. Quick rewind. Here's that school again. I figured these fish were kind of making their way out. I had just loaded up and everything was just too aggressive. I was swimming too much at these fish and they can really sense your intentions. You have to trick them somewhat to kind of swim in close enough for a shot, and that approach was just a bit too obvious for those fish and they booked it out of there. That wahoo fever really just got the best of me and I was trying to make something happen too fast. Now looking back, those were actually some WAHOOs. WAHOO is a tiny wahoo. I thought they were a lot farther and average size, but I think they were just really small and a lot closer.
All right, stop reversing. Chum.
Those fish kind of made their way out, but it gave me a good chance to really just relax and slow down and be ready for the next shot. This go around, I'm a lot more calm and patient. I make a nice, quiet, slow dive down, get level with these fish, and I just flat out miss. This is a classic case of that illusion that the blue water makes, where you can't really gauge depth perception. I thought these fish were bigger and farther. Turns out they were smaller and closer, and I was compensating for a longer shot, so I kind of raised it up a little and just shot right over its back. So clearly I am a bit rusty in the blue water diving. Like I said, it's an illusion out here. It's like you're floating in space, and it's really hard to gauge range if you don't have experience doing this or if you haven't done it in a long time. It also doesn't help when you're using a brand new spear gun that you have never shot at fish before. So that didn't help. Being out of the water for so long didn't help. Just a classic case of being rusty. That's all I gotta say about it. But you guys will see me get the hang of this gun and get my mojo back in the next video. Like I said, this was my first time diving for whoos in years, and I hadn't really done a whole lot of blue water diving recently at all. So on the note of the spear gun, this is a Chris Coates CDR 130 double roller. I really have come to like this gun. You'll see me put it to work in the next video. It is a beast, but the reason I got it is because it's just so light in the water. I'm shooting an 8mm shaft and it feels like a feather, and it has that Rob Allen handle that I've come to love and use. I can pop the reel off when I want it and when I don't want it. It's just super compact, streamlined, and amazing to dive with. So I'd turned my GoPro off, but as I was reloading my gun,
throw it up current. Good handfuls.
As I was restringing my shooting line and loading the bands, I had 3 or 4 nice wahoo come up right under me, in range, super close. That's really why you have to make your shots count out here, because when you do miss, they come and rub it in. Here I think there was 2 little WAHOOs come in on the chum there. And once again, I thought they were farther than they were and bigger. That thing was actually fairly close. It was just tiny, essentially.
I just saw 2. Keep doing that same chum cycle. They came in quick.
So I don't think I've talked about it much on the channel, but whenever we go out and do these blue water spearfishing trips, I bring a flasher, and more often than not, I'll buy some chum. This trip I loaded up. We spent a ton of money on chum. And those are what we use to attract the fish, to come in close and get into range to spear them. There's just so much open space out here, as you guys can see, that you got to draw those fish in to have a chance at shooting them, more often than not. Sometimes they'll just be on the spot, they'll just be there. But having that flasher, having chum, really increases your odds of drawing those fish in and being successful. And whenever you're going this far offshore, putting in this much time and effort, you might as well go all out and do everything you can to draw in the fish. And you know, we were chumming, we had the flasher out, and
you have a wad?
Even on this day, we weren't seeing tons and tons of wahoo, so having that really helped. But like I said, sometimes they'll just be there. They'll be cruising through around the spot or over the spot, and that's what happens in this next clip. Unfortunately, I had my GoPro off. I had just gotten back in the water, so I turned it on last second. But check it out.
Yes! Yes! Whoa! Let's go! Let's go!
First time ever connecting on a wahoo here in Texas with a spear gun. I was pretty pumped, still am, and this thing kind of made a run outward, got tangled up in that buoy chain. You can see him untangling it, but he made a 180 back away from the buoy, and once I got it out, it was off to the races.
Holy shit! He's on! Whoa! He's on. Alright. Alright, throw me another gun. Oh my gosh, he's towing me, dude! Oh my gosh!
So here's a good display of that buoy system doing work. That wahoo is just towing those buoys around, and I'm just sitting around holding onto the line, or really just following this thing around, letting the fish wear itself out. And once it wears itself out, that's when I'll start pulling it up. So here you can see those bungees that I use on the float line, and those are used for shock absorption. These wahoo run very hard, and whenever you have a bungee on there, it just allows that float line to stretch and give a little bit, so you have a less chance of that shot tearing and ultimately losing the fish.
Look at this.
It's a big one?
Pulling my float. He dove straight down. Dude, he's a stud.
Let's go. Just made it all worth it.
Holy gosh, dude. my gosh, I just hope he stays on. I'm trying to baby him, but then again, that could attract a you know what. So you can't win for losing, I guess. I'm gonna have one of y'all hold the float line and give me that wood gun. I'm gonna put a second in him. I don't want to risk anything.
I was confident in my shot. I knew it was center mass, but you really never know when something's gonna give, your gear's gonna go out, or that shot's just gonna rip out. So I don't think you could be too careful. We had come all this way, drove hours to get out here for this one fish, so I wasn't trying to take any chances.
Nice and easy. Let's go, Pullman! Let's go! Look at that, baby! First Texas Wahoo ever.
And with that, the Texas backyard Wahoo spearfishing dream became a reality. Huge thanks to Blaine and Jake. They were in the boat helping me out a ton and ultimately helping me make this happen.
Grab him. Dude, that's my first one in Texas. First zebra. I cannot tell you how freaking stoked I am. This has been like 5 years in the making, dude. I've been wanting to get a Texas Wahoo for years. One of the main reasons I got this PANGA was to do just that. We came to this spot, I immediately saw a Wahoo, lift on one, and then I stopped seeing them, saw two little ones, and I was getting a little bit worried, to be honest with you, because I didn't really stop seeing a whole bunch. I got back in the boat, recouped, ate some food, cut some chum.
Didn't even use it.
I know, I just jumped in. They were getting ready to chum.
Blaine was about to put up a flasher, and then he come up.
Yeah, and I'm hollering at them, you know, giving instructions or whatever, and I look down and this Wahoo's just cruising right there close to me. Drop down, There's the entrance right there, right center mass. Good holding shot. Oh, we'll get him undone, and then I need to get some more picks.
Yeah, where do we start with this?
He looked like he was giant whenever I was pulling him in, but I mean, I'm happy. He's big. That's a good hoover. Shaft still good. Shot him on a double flopper. Didn't tear at all. Dude, I can't tell y'all how stoked I am right now. It's like awesome.
Stoked, bro. Yeah, this.
Last year we had one window and I had one shot at a who. This year, we made 4 or 5 trips. Didn't find any good water. And finally the stars aligned. And this happened.
Beast, dude.
Thank y'all for helping. This is a dream come true. Oh my gosh. That right there is a WAHOO. First Texas WAHOO. I couldn't be happier. One of the best eating fish in the ocean. Right there. We're gonna be having some sashimi today. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude. I want to get back in and do it again now. It's still early. We have several hours. See if we can go maybe shoot another or maybe a third. Who knows?
You did it.
Oh! Made the whole trip worth it. All this time, effort, energy, money. And we finally did it. Now we just got to get this thing on some ice. Alright, restringing my gun here. I cannot believe what just happened. Like I said, I've actually been dreaming about that for so long. Last WAHOO I landed was 2016. Not feeling as bad anymore? Or is it coming back?
It's kind of coming back. It's not as bad though. Back to life now.
Dude, I know I absolutely spazzed when I shot that fish. I was inaudible. I just know I was yelling, freaking out.
I don't even know what you first said.
I don't think the word came out. I think it was nonsense.
Yeah, but I don't remember what you first said to us.
I just saw him zoom up. I was screaming underwater.
You came up, were looking away from us, and you were just like.
I was hollering underwater. I was so pumped. Look at those colors. Y'all might think it's just a WAHOO, but that ain't just a WAHOO to me. That's a Texas WAHOO. Woo! In the ice, brained it, yelled it. I learned my lesson. I'm gonna jump in. Stand's loaded this time. We got here, I jumped in. I was like, okay, I'll have time to load. No. WAHOO everywhere. They're still here. That dude was, as soon as I saw him, he was just booking away.
Action definitely was a lot slower than the morning when we showed up. What I was doing, a lot of these dives was just going down about 20-30 feet and looking upwards. Whenever you're down below and looking up, you can silhouette WAHOO and spot them a lot better opposed to looking down from the surface right here. They can really blend in with that blue. It was actually starting to get later in the day, and I told the guys to just dump all of the chum. That's why it looks insane right there. And after a while of sitting in the water, I spotted 2 more right here up at the surface. And we whiffed once again, made the classic surface shot attempt. This was a shot that was just so easy. The WAHOO was so close that in my head I was like, this fish is going in the boat. But shooting from the surface is hard. The current was ripping the stay, and that wave action threw me off right at the last second.
Alright, well, we are currently
About to leave the buoy. Went 1 for 3 on the Wahoo. I'm not going to dwell on that last miss there. I know what I did wrong. Set in the water for another 30-40 minutes. Didn't see any, and now we're gonna roll back. It is 3:11. So just want to show y'all we are currently sitting a little over 20 gallons. Don't need the fuel, but I'm gonna actually put some fuel in it, and I want to show y'all how I do it offshore. So I have a pretty standard fuel can. I actually have a funnel right here. Big funnel so I don't spill that fuel all over the console. First time doing this offshore. We don't even need it either. We did it. We done got our Texas Wahoo. So pumped. All right, we are on the way back. We're about, actually I'm not gonna say how far we're off. We are going to jig a little bit, see if we can get Jake and Blaine on some fish. They've been helping me out all day with the Wahoo stuff, so we're gonna see if they can catch a jack or something down there on the jigs. All right, we're hooked up. Head thrasher, drag screamer. I'm worried about that buoy line over there, and we got some structure down there as well. Didn't take long, about a minute of jigging. The rest of them out of there. Woo! Did he break everything? Yeah. Oh no. Took that out. Completely bent that hook out. It caught a few jacks, but whatever that was.
Couldn't hold on to that.
Yeah. Fish on. Uh-oh. Is that an AJ? Is that an AJ? Oh, yeah. Blaine got him a jack. There you go. That's a nice jack. Yeah.
See ya.
Back, and we're almost in. You got about 30 minutes, but the wind's picking up and the swell is growing. We're getting wet for the first time today. The swell's growing and that trough is getting deep, and I'm just kind of plowing it. That spray's coming up, but that's what makes these pangas so great. That flared bow makes you able to go at a good speed with that swell and hit it and not worry about stuffing your bow. All right, y'all, it is the next day. Just got back from an AM class and I am exhausted, to say the least. But we made it. Successful trip. I am still riding high on that Wahoo. Could dwell on those other ones I missed, especially that last one, which is still hanging, lurking in the back of my mind. But I'm gonna try to focus on the success of the trip. The goal was to go out there and find Wahoo, as well as put one in the boat on the spear gun, and that we did. So couldn't be happier about that. To do it out of my boat especially makes it very special. But yeah, I am super exhausted. As you guys, I think I said it, yesterday was my second day offshore in a row. That was an all-day trip. That was, you know, from late night to super early morning, 3-4 a.m. So yeah, I'm kind of catching up today, cleaning up the gear. The boat got cleaned last night, but we still got to clean this fish, and it's, you know, put everything away. We got nasty chum-filled coolers. Check this out. That's a nice little slurry of dead, smelly, bloody fish. And then we have a chum bucket that is just nasty. So I gotta clean that out, get all this stuff get all that stuff cleaned up. I honestly thought about going today since the weather, or the seas were pretty calm, but it's supposed to get a little bit choppy. And if you guys know about pangas, especially these low siders, wind and chop means you're gonna get wet. And if you're going into a head sea, it's gonna be a little bouncy. So decided to just recoup, get everything cleaned up, ready to go. I gotta catch up on school as well, so that's what we're gonna do. And I'm actually gonna swap out my fuel filter, and then I need to actually do some service on my engine, change the oil, spark plug, stuff like that. Just a routine deal to make sure this thing is gonna keep purring all day and get us home. So yeah, that's that. I'm still riding high on that WAHOO. If you guys have been following me for a while, or have even known me for a while, you know that spearing a WAHOO in my own backyard of Texas has been a goal of mine for a very long time. Also, I wanted to say, this trip, I was very focused on getting a WAHOO. You know, you only have so much time out there at the spot to see them, and you never know when they're gonna show up. So I wasn't really honed in on getting a bunch of really cool shots like I would when I'm diving the oil rigs. So that's why the filming in this video was a little bit rough, but like I said, I just never knew whenever I was gonna see a WAHOO, and if I stopped and started filming a bunch, a WAHOO could show up and catch me off guard. And you know, like I said, there's already so much time, effort, and work doing this, and you only get so much time out there to try to spear one since it takes so long to get to and from, that I was just focused on getting a fish. Oh my gosh. There she is. Beautiful, delicious fish. Look at that, dude.
It's like 80 degrees.
That is, shut up. I'm kidding. That is prime meat, and that is why we spend so much money and time going deep offshore trying to get WAHOO.
Get out of the blood.
I think I did all right on that fillet. Look at that. You can't top that right there.
Good.
Oh yeah.
All right, y'all, check this out. We're just gonna put the soy straight on the WAHOO. How do you like that?
I walked out, I'm like, wait, what?
That right there, that sliver, that stuff right there. Mmm. Mmm.